Yes, today we're going to read another book called The Keys of the Messed Up Office. Wow, sounds secret. Sounded like top secret. Eyes only. I have eyes. I have eyes. By Robert W. Hazlitt. Thrinks. These are the characters of this Amy, Bill, and Brent. Chapter 1. Raining. Sunday afternoon had been so boring. Brent stared out his bedroom window into the rain that poured down. Every little while, the strong wind would blow the raindrops against the window, making lots of noise. Brent sighed again and decided to open the window. Maybe he would read the book with the window open. As he pulled the window open a crack, a gust of wind rushed in and scattered the match of cards from Amy and Bill's goldfish game. "No!" Amy yelled. "Close the window, Brent," Bill shouted. "So much for having the Brent window open," Brent thought as he closed it again. Cards were everywhere. Bill and Amy began gathering them up into a big pile. "I guess we have to start a new game," Amy said. "And I was winning," Bill pouted, without turning from the weather outside. Said, "This is such a dull day." "Whoops. We don't have anything to do." "You could come play cards," Amy suggested. "And something," Bill added. Brett turned from the window. "But that's not exciting. Is there a mystery or something that we could do?" Amy shrugged. "I can't think of anything. We haven't had a mystery for ages," Brent said. Chapter 2. A Mystery. Things didn't pick up at all for the rest of the day. When night came, Brent had no trouble going to sleep as he listened to the rain that hadn't let up at all. When morning came, Brent was a log. He wouldn't nudge, no matter what Amy did. "Do I have to go and get a cup of ice-cold water?" she finally threatened. To this, Brent finally sat up and rubbed his eyes. "Huh? It's time to get up. You'll be late for school if you don't hurry." "Oh, school." Brent rolled over and closed his eyes. "No, you can't go back to sleep. I have something to tell you," Amy coaxed. Brent ignored. "There was a phone call this morning," Amy went on. I knew what Amy meant by a phone call. She meant that someone had called the Thrinks agency. They finally had a mystery. "What? Who? Where?" Brent was up in an instant. "I can't tell you until we're on the bus. We're going to be late." On the bus with Brent and Bill on either side of her, Amy unfolded a phone message and explained the situation. "The president of the busy bank called," Amy explained. "A bank robbery?" Bill was shocked. "Well, it's kind of a strange situation," Amy went on. "Someone was in the president's office. It was a huge mess, but they can't figure out how they got in." "That's not too strange," Brent said. "We figured stuff like that out before." It's weirder than that," Amy said. "You can't figure out what's stolen either." Oops. We've done two chapters so far. So let's get on to the third chapter, School. School was an absolute bore for Brent. On regular days it was easier to get through, but today it had a mystery to solve. His brain could stay focused on the math or history lectures. Okay. What year was that, Brent? Mr. Higgles asked. So I guess, yeah. Year, what? It's like he did stay focused, Brent said. I asked. The year that Christopher Columbus sailed to the Americas, Mr. Higgles was a little annoyed. Oh, that one. 1942? Brent guessed. Well, if Christopher Columbus lived during World War II, that would be right. Mr. Higgles explained. Actually, it was 1492. Wait. Yes, he almost got correct, but the wrong is that he switched. 4 and 9. 1492. Not 1942. Chapter 4. Busy Bank. Finally school got over, and the kids were free. Instead of taking the bus, the kids walked. The Busy Bank wasn't very far from the school. In 10 minutes, the kids came into the front of the building. It wasn't a usual bank, and it looked as normal as ever, except it has a police car at the front, and it was closed. The kids walked in front of the bank and peered in through the front glass door. Inside, they watched as the officer shook his head and shrugged. It didn't look like he made any progress, Amy said. They waited for a few more seconds until Mr. Fargo, the president, noticed them and came to unlock the door. Notice everything, Brent reminded to himself. Brent looked at the lock of the door. It was perfect, without a scratch mark from someone who might try to break the lock. Come in, Mr. Fargo said. Any clues on the case? Bill asked. No, the police officer said. There isn't a single clue of what happened. It is such a strange break-in, Mr. Fargo began. I unlocked the bank the same way I do every morning. When I entered my office, I found it a huge mess. Can we see it? Amy asked. Of course. Mr. Fargo led the way down the hallways. Ren noticed the floors. It had been raining the day before, so it would be really muddy outside. Would someone have left footprints if they had come to this way? Yeah, you're right. At the end of the hall, Mr. Fargo unlocked the door, and the kids looked inside. As he had described, the room was the biggest mess ever. Wow, that's a lot of trash. Papers and file folders were everywhere. The garbage can that sat beside the desk has been knocked over, and the paper was all over the floor. I haven't touched anything in this room since Friday, Mr. Fargo said. You can't dust for fingerprints, Amy said. She set down her backpack and started getting out her supplies. I don't think it will help any, the officer said. I've already checked things. There's no sign of anyone coming in. I think it was just a prank. But who would have done a prank like this? Mr. Fargo snapped. How would they hide every trace? The officer snatched his head. I really don't know. So yes, right now I'm reading chapter 5, Clueless. I did tell you guys earlier, so yeah. Aha! Amy smiled, holding up a fingerprint on a piece of tape. I found one. You found a clue. She compared to the press the officer had been taking of the workers in the bank. Where is? She matched it. Mr. Fargo's. I'm the only one who was touched. Okay, I'm the only one who was touched the stuff in this office, Mr. Fargo said. The officer is right. It's no use looking for fingerprints. Getting out his notebook, the officer said, Already, this was down as a prank, but you have to keep close security on this place. He turned and walked back down the hallway. Mr. Fargo was wringing his hands. This is so bad, and unsolved mystery is the worst thing. Bill agreed. I worried that someone might have gotten some of this information. With the signature and account number of one of the bank sons, it would be really easy to forge a fake check. Chapter 6. Giving up. Brent hadn't moved. For the whole time, he just stood and looked around the room. He noticed the paint on the ceiling that was starting to peel a little. He noticed the papers and how they were all over the floor. The door to the bank vault was to the right. A window was right in the middle of the wall, covered by the blind. To one side, there was a file cabinet. It's just not making sense. Amy paced back and forth. Bill paced too. There's no sign of anyone. Well, Mr. Fargo said at last, I guess we'll just have to call it an unsolved mystery. He sighed. I'll call you if anything else turns up. I'm sorry we couldn't figure it out, Amy said. Thank you for trying, Mr. Fargo said. Amy and Bill turned to go. Come on, Brent, Bill said. Bill noticed a slight movement. The blind in front of the window just moved just a little. Wait a second, he said. I think I figured it out. And Amy shouted, What? Brent went to the window and pulled up the blinds. Sure enough, the window was open. There was a screen. No one could have gotten in through there. Besides, the crack was too small. Are you silly? Bill asked. The window was too small for everyone to get through there. Brett smiled. Not everybody, he said. There's someone who can fit through here really easy. Who? Amy urged. Brent's smile got bigger. Good old Mr. Wood. What? Mr. Fargo asked. What are you telling me? And when did you open the window? Brent asked. On Friday. Brent was right and he knew it. The wind has made the mess. The space storm on yesterday had such a strong wind that it whooshed the pages all over the floor. It had even tipped the garbage can over. And the wind never leaves a trace. And it doesn't need to go through doors if it's going through the windows. Thank you, Mr. Fargo said. I will call the officer right now and explain to him. Mr. Fargo wasn't worried anymore. Wow, Amy said. That one was a tough one. No kidding, Brent. You really got it this time. Bill added. The three kids jumped up and did a high five. Another day, another mystery. Now we have to celebrate, Bill said. We can go across the street and get some ice cream. We could go across the street and get some ice cream, Brett said. I got some change in my pocket. Bob felt his pocket, but the change was gone. Where did it go? Amy giggled. Now that's a mystery. The end. Case closed. And yes, that's right. Another day, another mystery. Done. Done. So yeah, that's enough. So what's next?